Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing this fine Wednesday evening? Let's get in here and pray. I pray your Wednesday has been amazing. Mine has. Me and God have had a time last night. You know how that thing says, but it was today. Thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Okay. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come nigh my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left hand side, and 10,000 at my right, but it shall not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper. It will form, but I have the breakthrough formula from Jesus, Stove, and a Arumala. Why all three? Because God is calling everybody to the table. God never put pretenses of who could be at the table. God said, come one, come all. Okay. And I walk in and instead of fussing about what it looks like, just saying, okay, come on. God said, come on here. He been wanting to talk to you for a long time. Come on forward. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding. Woof. Philippians 4, think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on God, God will keep me in perfect peace. It don't make sense, but it makes faith. Okay, because what I believe in, I'm going to act on it. What I act on, what I have faith in, I'm going to believe. And what I believe, I'm going to act on it. What I act on, I'm going to see happen in the spirit realm before we hit this realm. Because this realm is heavy and it's dense. It's been changed so many times. They keep changing the rules. Okay. Because they sore losers. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me and I am you. You place a small allspark in my heart before I even enter my mother's womb. God told Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapters 1 and 2, read it for yourself. He said, I knew thee before you enter your mother's womb. And God is not a respecter of person. If he say it for once, he'll say it for everybody else. So since he said it for Jeremiah, he's saying it for us too. 2:22 on the clock. He said, I knew thee before you entered your mother's womb. Meaning, God had a covenant with us before we even came to this earth. But the thing is, we have a covenant with God. But then once you go through the canal, it's a thing where you're going to have amnesia. But the goal is to get back to God as clean as we left there. Okay. God is good and full of love. All right. So God is not an aspect of love. God is love. So God places an aspect of love inside of us in our heart, right? And then you can even say it's right here because that's what our higher heart is, our higher self. Okay. And God has been waiting for us to do the shadow work so we can run smack dab into him. And when we run smack dab into him, it's on and popping off to the races. You know what I'm saying? So, and God said it's based on us how we see that love. It could be a foot, 3 feet. It could be 40. It could be 100 feet. It could be 1,000 feet, but it's based on us, like Ephesians 3:20. God will do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think, but it's according to how we work it. How we work it is how we see it. Because once you leave this human body, you don't get to work the love anymore. You are in a perpetual state of love, or you in a perpetual state of how you left here. It's up to you. You make the choices every day. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods. We made all this stuff to put in between us. And the only thing God ever needed was a one-on-one relationship with us. He said, I don't have a problem with the things that y'all set up here on the earth. My concern is that you're going to put another human being over my voice. Mm, I've been doing better with that. I've been checking in with God more. God was like, how are you going to put another human being that don't even know you over me, that knows everything about you, even the hairs on your head, even a peach fuzz if you got it? Okay. God said he ain't got no problem with the church. He ain't got no problem with none of that. He ain't got a problem with the Quran. He ain't got no problem with all the different religions. The concern is you're going to go to that before you come to him, and then when you get bamboozled, hoodwinked, and lied to, your feelings is hurt. We all did it. I can't lie and say I did it, because I did. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God. Your name is higher than any name that is named on this earth or the universe. If it can be congregated in a sentence and a punctuation put at the end of that sentence, God is hiding that. And then if I try to think of something, try to tell you, guess what? It's going to be a sentence or it's going to be a paragraph, which has a bunch of sentences and a bunch of punctuation. So God is already hiding that. Whatever I do, whatever we say, God is hiding that. David said, if I go to the bottom of the earth, you're there. If I go to the top of the sky, you're there. If I go to the east, west, you're there. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, there is no lack, only provision. You're more than enough and you supply all I need. I'm worthy because I exist and I exist because I'm worthy. That's it. You exist, you're worthy. There's nothing that you will ever withhold from me. You are my source and not the things on the outside of me. You use people to bless me on this earth. However, wealth comes from the north, as above, so below, not from the east, west, and the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if I believe it. If God is, and it's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. If God is here and I'm over here, God said, come to me as you are. That means I change my perspective to come wherever God is. And that's what we do whenever we meet with somebody. We change our perspective and we go to them, make sure it's worth it. Jehovah Rapha, my healer. You hear my mind, my soul, my body, my spirit. God, you hear so much of me. Me and God just be talking because I get into these positions in exercise. And I be like, wait a minute. But it be fun during the time. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, God, help me out. Excuse me, confirmation. Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. Ain't no getting even with people. Ain't no arguing with people. And send all that negative energy to the creator and ask the creator to cleanse it and purify it and send it back so you can send it back to the sender. Cleanse and purify. No stopping their path, no blocking their path. I don't care what they did. Don't block it. Okay? Because we have cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action. That means every seed you put in the ground turns into a tree, whether good or bad. It's what you put in the ground. Okay? Remember, whatever you put in the ground, he said, be ye not mocked. Whatever you sow, you're gonna have to deal with that. I live under the law of assumption that it's already worked out and I don't have to stress about it. Everything doesn't require my response or my fight. I choose my battles properly and I leave it in God's hands. Ain't no fussing or no stressing me out, and so it will be and forevermore. Okay. Some things are just not your concern. Just let go. It ain't your concern. You know those letters to whom it may concern, God don't send it to you because it ain't your concern. Okay. Look in the description below and find a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. This is a one-on-one book with me and God. Honey, this is about relax on page 86. Trust me, I have everything in my hands. Relax in my presence. Trust me. Let go of the reins and let me handle it all. Okay, when God say that, that's when you put your hands up. You're like, hey, God. That's when you start pulling at your heartstrings. You be like me today, be here crying, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. It just come out of nowhere. You like, dang, God, it's like that. You like, Okay. And don't forget about my other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Those books are my shadow activity books. Why do I call them that? Because you have so much fun you get to do in it. First, you get a word of knowledge, okay, just for you in that moment. Then you get an exercise, so fun. Then you get a shadow question, not so fun. Because it's going to be a mirror to where you are right now. Then, and I cried a lot with them. And then you get the opportunity to get a color page. That color page, God asked me to keep it between the age of 5 and 10. Why? Because those color pages are a epitome of the childhood wounding that we go through as children. And he said, keep between there because childhood wounding happened between the age of 5 and 10. By the age of 7, it's pretty much solidified. And by the age of 10, it's really rooted in you. And by the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility to get you a therapist or however you choose to work that through. Okay? Because now it is your responsibility to heal. I know that sucks, but that's how it works. Okay? And then you have the last thing, which is so fun. You have the area where you get to sketch, draw, put everything in there how you want to put it in there. and just have fun because it's your book. And in the beginning of the book, it says this book belongs to, oh, it's so cute. I like stuff like that. Okay. Because I work with my inner child and my inner teenager a lot. So whenever I do something, God say, bring them with me. So you'll notice that my messages, whenever I do a message, my inner child and my inner teenager come out. And I'll be like, child, I'm doing something. They'll be like, and we here too. Um, Influence and Impact. My books are on New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. Cop your copies. All of those are on Amazon, so you can grab a copy on Amazon if you like. I have my own personal bookstore, but my own personal journals are there. Woo! They go to the nitty gritty. So if you want to get into nitty gritty, go check those out. Okay. No matter your background, because God don't care about your background. God don't need a background check. He know all the hairs in your head, even the peach fuzz. No books for all and coloring books for all that help in meditating, recalibrating the mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the women's leveling up. It was fun being here in May. Then you'll also see 3 magazines I was covered in September, October, and December. I placed a link to my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about that venture. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. Even though a lot of stuff is on Amazon, but my special journals are on my bookstore. There are some freebies there just for you. I added a link to 105 spiritual laws. There's only 7 in the book for the initiates, but there's 12 in another book. And I said, God is not the author of confusion. So I looked, it is 105 spiritual laws. Time out, disclaimer. Even though it's 105 spiritual laws, and even though we do get an opportunity to learn them, we are no longer underneath the law. In Galatians 3, it says if you're living underneath the law, you get the opportunity where you have to live. If you decide to live underneath the law, you have to go by the 105 spiritual laws plus the 613 commandments. It's not just 10, it's 613. And you need to follow them every hour of the day. No one can do that. Okay. And that's why we need God. Okay. And then when Jesus came, he bought us love, 2 paradigms, love and grace. Okay. And we're solidifying them back here again. All right. Because what happened was 100 AD, 180 AD, and 280 AD, they took the books of the Bible out that we really needed. So they took those out because the Catholic Church wanted to have control over the population. Okay. You don't believe me? Go look it up for yourself. Go and look up, say, 100 AD and 200 AD Bible, and it will show you that Mr. Henry, I think his name was, he took those out because they had too much power. Child, you got Esther had a lot that happened. Daniel had a lot more that happened. And you know Daniel was giving the truth in the Bible. So imagine. Then you had Thomas, doubting Thomas, but Thomas was dropping straight facts and wisdom. Then you had Mary Magdalene, and she walked so closely with Jesus. And let me tell you something. She was like, let me tell you something about women. You mess around and give a woman some revelation. We have a womb. Men do too. But we have a womb meant to carry children, and we will carry that thing to full gestation. Ooh, and we will take that thing and make it a full baby child and breed it too. Honey, you ain't ready for what women are doing. So when people say, what do women bring to the table? Child, we are the table. Honey, you give us food, we give you what? You give us food, we give you a meal. You give us a house, we'll make it a home. You give us sperm, we'll make it a baby. Hush your fuss, we'll make you a whole family. Anyway, so love is the ability to love the unlovable, but place a boundary between you and them so you can still love the unlovable. Send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to them. Or you say, I release you in love. Let them go their way as you go yours, because it ain't none of your business what's going on over there. And they get to stay on the side of their fence, because if they try to come over, God has got that karate chop. God has got that Bruce Lee to hit them in the throat. Okay, don't worry about that. Then, on top of that, God's got you. God's got you. God's got you. He will put a hedge of protection all the way around you. Nothing will be able to touch you. You know what I'm saying? If you believe it. Okay. Everything is according to how you believe it. That's how God works. Okay. And so you put that there. And then love also says forgive yourself because you didn't know no better. You was in survival. You was doing what everybody told you to do. And once you know better, you will do better. And once you know better, you can say, you know what, God, I didn't know. So I'm just gonna treat myself better. I'm gonna operate better. I'm gonna love myself better. I'm gonna show more self-care to myself. I'm gonna show more self-honor to myself, more self-respect to myself. And then you forgive them every time you think about it. The disciple says, how many times I forgive my brother? And they said seven. No, Jesus said 7 times 70. So they are at a boundary. And every time they come up in your head, you forgive them and you forgive yourself first. You forgive yourself first and then you forgive them. And you keep going about your merry way. And don't let them back in. That's a no-no. Okay. Once they're on the outskirts, they stay on the outskirts. Okay. They get to see what's going on from the town, from the outskirts. They don't get to come back into the town. They like people with leprosy. Like the Bible said, leprosy, they don't get to come back into the town. They on the outside looking in. How Chris Brown say, how you gonna get mad? You on the outside of the club. You can't get in. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then grace, God's willingness to get involved with human affairs. That's when, if you like me, I gave God full reign. I'm in the middle of something down here, and I can't get out. Come down and get me. God says, say less. I am, because I don't put too much in you. And then you got the 10 Commandments, which is really 613 commandments. And see, and if you want to see them all, go ahead and get the Torah, the Kamash, and the Tanakh. The Tanakh and the Kamash are what will be the English versions, okay, of the Torah. And you will learn so much from the Old Testament that you did not know. Even with the Psalms and the Proverbs, you be like, really? Did nobody even tell me this before? And don't forget to get the Apocrypha, the 54 books of the Bible that was taken out. So you can bring your whole life together and understand something. Okay. And don't be mad at the people that held it from me. Don't be mad. It's easy to be mad. It is. But don't be mad. Release it. They were just doing what the system told them to do. And God told the Israelites, there's no way possible you can keep 613 laws every day for the rest of your life. And they said, yes, we can. Us and our children. I said, wait a minute. When I read it, I said, wait a minute. That means they added me. I didn't ask for this. And then, then there's something else. Okay. So they was messing around and they was getting ready to put Barabbas to the test, and Jesus was with him, and the king's wife said, "Don't you touch that man." I had a dream about him last night, and the power of God is all over that man. Don't you touch them, cause that ain't good. He was like, "I'm not gonna touch him then." So he said, "Who you want to release, Jesus or Barabbas?" They said, "Barabbas, Barabbas." They said, but the king said, "Wait a minute, this man ain't done nothing to y'all." They said, "We know." And he said, well, I'm wiping my hands. I'm talking about, they said we know. Go read it. They said we know. He blasphemed God. That's the only thing he did was he said something that he was equal to God. And we are. He didn't lie. If God is living in us, that means we are a small version of God. So he didn't lie. It's just people weren't ready to hear it back then. Okay. He came for the chosen people and they weren't ready to receive it. That's why he allowed the the other people to get in. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. And then, and they said Barabbas. And then they said, well, put it on us and our children's children. I said, wait a minute, you did it again? Don't put me in your mess. See, that's why how we got in this generational baggage and this generational drama and this generational carrying. Because see, in 100 AD and 200 AD, they took the books of the Bible out. So we didn't have anything to stand on. And the people that would have told it was gone. So then that generation that was there was like the baby boomers. They had so much trauma and so much happened and so much came against them that they didn't even teach that no more. They just kept it. They were like, man, I ain't got nothing to share with you. They didn't keep the thing going. So for a minute, that wasn't even taught, even though it was called the way. So that wasn't even taught for me. It wasn't even called Christian. It wasn't called Christian until later on. When they picked it back up, then they called it Christian because of Christ. And Christ is the anointed one of his anointing, burden removing, yoke destroying power of God. So that's the broke, yoke destroying power of God. So if you calling yourself a Christian, and you gossiping, and you're not operating under yoke destroying power of God, you might want to quit calling yourself that. Because you're not who God called you to be. You're not doing what God called you to be. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. So you're using God's name in vain. I'm just letting you know. And you know, go read it and see what happens when you use God's name in vain. And I'm leaving it right there. So it's up to us to use our believers' authority. Whatever you believe, you will uphold. So that means the cops believe if you're in that speed zone and you're going 25, it's 25, but you are going 60 miles an hour in a residential place. Guess what the cops get a right to do? Stop. I'm finna give you a ticket. That's their right. Because you're breaking the law. Our right is to say, I don't want this in my life. I don't like nothing that you're doing. I'm stopping this. That's the right we have to. It don't matter your creed. It don't matter your color. It is your right because God sits in your heart. And the minute you see something you don't like, you have a right to speak against it. And just know the minute you speak against it, they're going to send everything that come against you and going to make you seem crazy. Just remember, everybody that ever said crazy, now they looking truthful now, ain't they? Because see, we know everything, but we don't know anything. And this keeps us from attachments as we go through each level and lesson. Because every time you learn something new, you got to let go. That was taught to me by Jesus, Stoph, and Ishu. Because see, if you don't let go, you're stuck at the crossroads and can't go any further. And you know who Ishu is. So if you under Ishu, you see why. And you see I pulled everybody, so you can't say you don't know. Ishu is with the underneath the African. Okay, so you can't say you don't know. And Thoth is Egypt and everybody that's under the new way of learning. And Jesus is on under everybody else. So you can't say you don't know because you know. You know what I'm putting down. And also we have the Adjective PDF along with the 400 values PDF to put those together to change your whole Sims character in this janky promoter game. So this is a whole simulation and it's based on what you believe. And see, a lot of the times we've been lied to. So everything that you've been lied to, you believe it because you was lied to. But now that you know better, you can do better. Once you know better, you do better. And you just say, I don't want this no more. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Don't forget to look at my new link for school. I'm just getting things started, so come on over and see. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who, as well as influential women of 2025. It's been a whole new experience putting up that last reel 2025. And look what I received in 2017 for what I was doing. I was helping young people. Okay, and I was bringing women and young ladies out of sex trafficking. I had people to help me, but when I looked up, everybody was gone, and God said, keep going. And so I did. With every dime that I got, I kept going. Okay, because that's what you do. You don't stop doing what God has called you to do. So I kept doing it. I was helping teenage girls that came out and said they were LGBTQAI, and young girls that came out and said they was pregnant. They got kicked out of their homes. I put them in shelter, but made sure I kept checking up on them and gave them what they needed. Then I was helping domestic violence people. I was helping people that lost everything in fires. I was helping people that lost everything in fires and helping them getting their lives together. I was helping people that lost everything in floods and getting their lives together. Why? Because that was my mission. I don't know what your mission is. Get to it. Okay, that was my mission at that time. And every day the mission is changing. I just flow with God. I just go with God. Okay. And then I also was assisting families that didn't have anything to put on the table for Christmas and Thanksgiving. I just helped this one woman, and then I found out that most of them people that was working with her got laid off, and so I took everybody's name that she would give to me, and I put it in a bowl. And when it came time for Christmas, I pulled out 2 family names, and I gave their kids 2 gifts each. And then, because I was working with a budget, so I did what I could do. I made sure they got some food and some food for Christmas, and I made sure they had enough groceries. So I bought food for Christmas, and I catered food for them for their Christmas, and then I made sure they had like $150 worth of groceries per household. Okay, I was just doing what God asked me to do, and again, anytime extra money came in my hand, that's what I was doing, because that's what God asked me to do. And you know what? I'm so glad that God, the only time I took pictures was when I put it on my web page because I didn't put it. I didn't put it all on social media. Only thing I put on social media was what I did, what I put on my webpage, because I didn't put none of them women and them children that came out of sex trafficking and stuff like that. Why? Because that is dangerous to me and them. And the ones that came out of domestic violence, it was dangerous to me and them. So I made sure they were safe above everything else. Because it's not about me looking good. It's about me making sure that the clients I was taking care of, yes, they were the people I was helping, but to me, they was clients. So I had to make sure those clients I was taking care of were safe, and me too. I'm so glad that God sees what you do, but don't nobody else see it. And God said, whatever you do in private, He'll reward in public. I'm so faithful. God is so faithful, and I'm thankful and grateful for it all. Don't forget to look at the order to receive 25%. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use with all natural remedies, along with um my naturopathic doctor, for the diagnosis I received in 2017 of saying I had breast cancer, and I didn't take any chemo. Okay, I just took the stuff from my backyard. If you look on my YouTube page, you'll see I put a picture of it today. I put that picture of the poke salad and the crabgrass. Okay, so you'll see it, so you know exactly what it is when you see it in your backyard. It's edible and it's herbal. Okay, and it heals the body. Who knew, child? Our ancestors stayed unsick. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. So basically, the doctor was trying to beat me up and get me to take the cancer treatment. I said no, because I heard God say, if you take that, you gone in a week. And I said, I like looking at myself in the mirror. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Charlie. Remember that? Soon kids, the tuna? Not doing that today. You only know that if you came from the 80s. And then I told them doctors I bind every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every tumor, every growth, every parasite that's trying to stay on my body, and I curse it to the root, and I send it back to the pit of hell, and I loose the blood of Jesus. I loose the hand of God. Honey, I was cursing everything to the root. Say I won't, because I was. Honey, I was getting my whole life together. And they said, what you doing? I said, God, I take full responsibility of what I did, because I was eating the food. I said mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. I can't sue nobody because I did this. I went to the restaurants. I did this. Yes, they lied to me about what's in the food, but I ate this stuff. I did this to myself, and I take full responsibility. When you take full responsibility, God can work with you, because it is some truth to that. God will help those that help themselves. The minute you say, I take full responsibility, God say, okay, now we're working with Crisco. Let's go. So I went home, talked to God. God said, call the naturopathic doctor, did that, pulled down everything that Dr. Sebi ever had on, because I was learning about Dr. Sebi. I pulled down everything from Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Rest in peace. We miss you, girl. And I learned everything from her. So I pulled out everything that he had. Okay, on alkaline, and child, I was looking at it and showed them my naturopathic doctor. They said good. However, this stuff, yes, it's just vegetables and fruit. But this stuff in your body turns to acid. And that acid is gonna keep you from being alkaline. So I don't need you to have that. I said say less. So that's what all I'm saying is, do what's right for your body, because what for somebody else may not work for you, and you try it, and all of a sudden your body start acting up. Okay, listen to your body, listen to your intuition, and if you can, get you a naturopathic doctor, or get that scale, because they have that thing to put your hand on, tell you everything about your body, tell you everything, your blood. It'll tell you your blood type. It'll tell you everything that's going on in your body, what vitamins you missing, everything. Okay, it'll tell you, I mean, everything. It don't miss nothing. And there's a scale they got now too. I forget the name of it. And honey, I went out to the backyard because my ancestors said, go ahead and get that dandelion. They said get that morning glory. Morning glory, when you dry it out, it's the seed now. You take the seed and you crush it up. Basically, it's the whole plant. You can smoke the whole plant up, dry it out. It'll have you hallucinating, and it'll bring you into the spirit realm, just like weed does. But it's like having weed with PCP on it. Okay, now you know. And LSD. Okay, now you know. You only know those terms. You came from the 80s. Okay, and and then you got the poke, not the poke salad. Then you got the crabgrass. I put pictures of that on the page, on my page. You got the crabgrass and the poke salad. The crabgrass is that patch of grass is darker than anything else, but it's got that long grass that grow in the middle. It is edible. It is a herb, and once you eat it, it does things to heal the body on the inside. Woo, because it's an onion. It's a wild scallion. So you cut it up and put it in your food. Up, it's delicious. And then the poke salad is like cilantro and lettuce had a baby together, and it's got a nutty flavor and kind of minty at the same time. You had to taste it for yourself. It is so delicious. I put it on top of my spinach, underneath my jasmine rice with zucchini, squash, red onions, red orange, and yellow bell peppers, and got my whole life together, honey. You ain't gonna tell me I wasn't living my life, because I was. I was. Psalms 91, 1 through 6, NLT. Those that live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. This I declare of the Lord. He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my God, and I will trust him. For he will rescue me from every trap, and did, and protect me from every deadly disease, and did. And he will cover me with his with his amazing feathers and his mighty wings, and shelter me with his mighty wings daily. He is faithful to his promises. God's promises are yes and amen. Okay, the thing is, God asks us what we want, and God just wants us to line up with what we want. That means every single day, do something that's real. It can be something so small as changing your mindset. God just needs you to take small steps every day, because small steps lead to the book I read a long time ago, Compound Effect. I don't know the author. I apologize, but it's Compound Effects. Okay, armor and protection. Yes, I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the bullets that fly at day. I do not dread a disease that stalks in darkness. Why? Because David already told us, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My rod and staff, who knew spine and shoulder to shoulder was our cross. Jesus said, pick up your cross and carry it with you daily. Little did we know that. And some stuff you learn, it's the stuff I learned in 2025. I was like, God, all these years growing up in the church, being a preacher's kid, and then everything was just so elusive. And God was like, I got more stuff to share. I said, and I'm listening. And he says, and my cup runneth over. That means infinite wealth, infinite growth, infinite everything. Gotta just say, reach in the well and get what you need. Okay. You ain't ready for that. And then, my goodness, it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That means Isaiah 53. God said he would send the angels to go before us to set asunder to make the crooked places straight, and God is always our rear guide. That means come back. In Psalms, it says, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. You know why? Because God is my rear guide, blocking every attack that's coming from behind. He said, don't worry about your six. Don't worry about what's coming up behind you, because I got that. You stay focused on what's in front of you, because if you look back, you're going to mess up. So stay forward. I got what's going on behind you. I should fuss to get on the bus. And then he says, surely goodness, and then he says, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know why? Because we are the house of the Lord forever. Why you in this body, and once you leave, because once you with God, you with God. So you still in the house of the Lord forever. Hush your fuss. Nor the disaster that strikes at midday. God said no more elusive talking. If you want to know, step into his presence. He got a lot of stuff to say. Hand over heart for the affirmation. I am, or however you choose. I am not society script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but a flame from God, source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. If it can't be fixed in 15 minutes, let it go. I let go of that attachment, and I monitor the use of my own energy. Monitor the use of your own energy, or somebody else will be using your energy, and you be trying to figure out where your energy went. You'll be looking around like, where'd my energy go? Down the street. In the church, we call this a familiar spirit. In the world, we call it a shadow. It's the same thing, but different language. Just how all religions are saying the same exact thing, but we cower away because of the label. It's crazy how we speak the same thing, but colonialism and imperialism keeps us separate, to the point that we fight to keep it the same way, although it hurts us so much. See, the system keeps us separate to control us. Because if you ever realize we all dating the same dude and we all getting pimped by the same dude, we wouldn't be saying who has had the worst trauma. Trauma is trauma. And once you realize that we have been under trauma for so long and lied to for so long, and people were trying to tell us what was going on, but they couldn't tell us. Remember that certain one that we said always was looking like he had something to say? He did. He just couldn't say. You know what I'm saying. If you black, nasty, you know exactly who I'm saying. And don't tell nobody. You hear me? Black delegation, keep that to yourself. Whether you know it or not, we need each other. There's a level of alchemy that we can only learn together and away from the people holding the paradigm of the church by keeping us in cycles. How Jonathan Reynolds, and keep me going in cycles, generational cycles. But let the church tell it there ain't no cycles. But we got people singing about the cycles. Okay. Okay, Little John, thank you. Of never getting out. We trust them with our lives because of the alternating lives of the leadership. It's not all, but 80% aren't who they say they are. And there's about to be a huge shift in what God is putting out. Most of us pull from the church to see the Pauline way, to set up a new version of how God wants it to be. Gurus that have lied and manipulated their followers around them. You and I know who you are. It ain't everybody, but it's 80% of you. I was in your presence, and God allowed me to see the underbelly of your establishments. You see, I didn't have no label. And see, you treated me how you thought was great. And then God said, let go. There were a lot of great things. At the same time, you used the name of God in vain, and you know what I'm talking about. You became money changers instead of who you started out as. God sent people in as an allegory of the Father who sent in the people to gather payment and were extinguished or tried to extinguish their power. Read Matthew 18, Matthew 20, Matthew 21. Read past verses 34, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some people color gonna leave out of them because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Confirmation bird. I didn't say it, excuse me.
Yeah.
Confirmation bird. Excuse me. How you demonize people from pulpits, podiums, and speeches and the such to protect your ring of lies. Because you know 70% of the population is open-headed. That means they can't make their own decisions. They listen to whatever you say until they realize who they are. And then they say, wait a minute, I can think for myself. And will believe what they heard instead of doing the research first. You sent spirits that were conjured up from unknown places. And God said, thank you. He needed proof of what he already knew. Because what you didn't already know was the archangels had came into your presence. And they took the form of a human being. And you treated them so bad to the point that that person left their body. And the angel, and it was set up for it to happen that way. And the angel went back to God. And God saw, he videotaped it. Ooh, the color's gonna go out of a lot of people. Because he needed proof of what he already knew. But see, he needed proof. And so he sent his best. Little do you know that the people that were sitting there were byproducts of Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Shemael, I think that is. That's what I'm hearing. And they went back and told God everything. He already knew this. It's one thing to go through the process, and it's another to put 10 processes on the back of one individual because of the power you assume through strongholds. But we walk with a whole army regiment you can't see. If we walk in the light, see, you don't understand. See, you done it for so long that God was like, well, I'm going to send this person. I'm going to send this person. Well, I'm going to send this person. I'm going to send this person. Just like that thing. He said he sent his son. He sent everybody. And then they took his son too. He said, I'm going to send this person. I'm going to send this person. And then God said, okay, I don't need to send nobody else. We got enough. Put Ichabod out there on the front. Or they business too. Put Ichabod out there. And it's funny that I said it. I saw a vision right before I came on. And the vision that I saw people and a light was on. And then all of a sudden the vision went dark and I couldn't see nobody no more. But I heard screaming. And then I saw a tidal wave come over. And God said, extinguished. So don't be surprised if people start pretending like they Moses or covering up their face and acting weird and pretending like Moses did when the anointing left. And feeding off people that come into their pulpits and say, we're going to stay on this for a minute. But they didn't have no new revelation of their own because it's extinguished. Many have dusted off the dust of their feet and sent cleansing and purifying energy to you. Matthew 10, God told the disciples, when you go in somebody's house and they receive you, accept it. But when they don't accept you, take your blessing back. Call all your energy back to you. Seeing nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to them. And call the place extinguished. And I will too. Because whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. And when I said, God, this is what happened, God said, I saw it. He said, I saw everything. I saw it. And I wasn't the only one. It was a multitude. It was many. Now what happens is between you and God, where you transform. And see, the thing is, they were people that was in the room when they saw this going down. They saw the black jack going on, but they didn't do nothing. We're going to get to them too. They ain't do nothing because they said it ain't affecting me. Well, because they was in the room, you are an accessory to the crime. And then there was some that was like, you can't do that. And they was calling them out. Now they are being attacked. Remember, God always comes to the light to do an audit before he goes to anybody else. We done had ours. Will you transform like we did, or will you crap out at the table to come back at a later time and push this on the back of your generation? Only you know this. Some of others you assisted in putting in the grave are still ministering and still changing lives. So since you took their life, their spirit is still out here teaching. That anointing never leaves. Remember that. This has been for years, so many years, and it's coming back to roost in your backyard. And you know who I'm talking about. Because if I call their names, woo, people color gonna leave out people's face. Because they didn't leave here like you said. What you do comes back as trees, and I pray they feed you well. Ichabod has been inscribed. What will you do? Will you change or will you just let it stay there? That's between you and God. God shows you, keep keying about what you did. And remember, this is something my grandma used to tell me. Whatever you laugh about, it be the same thing you cry about. Enjoy your harvest. Then there were those who saw it again and did nothing. That's between you and God. Don't seek understanding from others. Just move. We don't even know what we're doing. I love it that way. When fear shows up, breathe through it and keep moving forward, lifting your own self up no matter what. Remember this. It's not the Bible. It's not the Bible's fault with everything that's going on. It's just an object. Remember, objects are neither bad nor good. It's whoever gets it and changes the meaning of it. Money's not bad or good. But if you give somebody that has a corrupt heart, it'll be corrupt. Power's not good or bad. But if you got somebody with a corrupt heart, power will turn into something crazy. Read it for yourself and see what you can learn from it, along with the Quran and other sacred texts, because they all say the same thing. People choose to use it wrongly, but God was not involved in that. You see, God had to allow it because we had to get to the 26,000 year. We're here. If this happened to you, let them go through forgiveness. Forgive them so you can move on. Once they come in your head, send cleansing and purifying energy to them, forgive yourself because you didn't know. You were taught to trust blindly without asking questions of leadership. Forgive them. It will be okay. If you cry, cry. If you scream, scream. If you feel heavy, reach out to God. God will tell you what to do. There are so many different things to do, and stay on top of your spiritual hygiene. You are processing out of an old pattern, and it takes time. Be kind to yourself always. Remember, there's not a us and them. It's just us. We're all part of the same God. If we see it out there, we get a chance to look in here too. Remember that. If you see it out there, it's in here. That's how it works. One gets checked, and we get to do our own audit before God does. Symptoms today: crown and third eye screaming. Woo! Then my head to neck got hot. Woo! Wait a minute. I got stuff coming in. Hold on a second. Then my head to my neck got hot, and then my belly to my hips got hot. It ain't never happened before. I ain't never felt that. My body was just having new sensations. There were other sensations too outside of yesterday. Just stuff was going on. I was like, God, what we doing? I don't remember feeling this ever. I was hearing, eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard, but that's about to change. In nature, I was just listening to the birds sing, and I soaked up the natural air. I didn't have on no music, nothing. Because God was like, be quiet. I just need you to listen. And the birds were so beautiful. They were singing the most beautiful song. And then they got on the branches and were just looking at me. And I was looking at them. And I was talking to them. And they act like they could hear me. And I was like, okay. Hear it. Be optimistic. You will win as long as you keep your head to the sky. Be optimistic. Come on. I was like, get it. Sounds of Blackness. Then I was listening to, it just came through my head. You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies till all my friends are gone. All my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. That is Bethel Music 2015. And then I heard this. This is my jam. I was like, God, thank you. I was hearing, you are my symphony, perfect in harmony. Lord, you are my song for your endless kindness and your loving mercy. Love me daily. Lord, you are my song. Come on, Fred Hammond. messed up a little bit, but it's okay. You know, black people, we'll make up our own words. Forgive me, Fred. I moved my room around. I knew where everything was, and I needed to change up everything. I felt new energy, so I was just like, because it felt different, I said, everything has got a refresher. I kept going back to where I knew things was and stuff wasn't there. I said, that's good, that's good, that's good. Muscle memory was trying to go back to stuff and it wasn't there, so I had to change my mindset, which was good. It feels fresher, and I have cleaner energy to think with. I exercised, and it was tough, but it felt good at the same time. I grounded a lot and meditated a lot today. I did other things, but my body kept saying ground in the moment. And then I saw that tidal wave. I said, oh, that's why. Because you said in a cleansing. Deja vu moments today. Like I've been here before, and a crazy strength hit me out of nowhere. Then I was exhausted to take a nap. It was weird. And I felt like I had the strength of Samson for the Bible for a minute. Technology was acting weird and was not doing exactly what I asked it to do. Lots of patience was needed today. So that's why I did a lot of meditating, because stuff wasn't working like I wanted to the later in the day. I wrote down something in my journal and it brought immediate tears after I read it back to myself. God, ooh, it's so good to send medicine you don't know you needed. God told me something. I just wrote it down. And then I said, well, let me see what you wrote down, because, you know, when God is telling you something, you just write it down. You just going with the flow. Then I read it back to myself. I'm talking about tears would just come. I couldn't stop them, and I just let it flow. It's like my heart busted open wide. I couldn't stop the tears from falling, and I needed that good cry. I did. I needed that good cry. So many other things happened today. It was just so much. God was like sharing a lot of wisdom, but a lot of it went in my journal because everything ain't meant to be shared. Some stuff is meant to. Remember that everything ain't meant to be shared. Everyone gets the opportunity to do their own work and see things in their own timing. Okay, it's hard when you love folks, but in their own timing. Okay, keep going. They get the opportunity to decide just like you did. I know that you care for them, but what are they showing you with these? Are you truly paying attention? Some want to only connect with you. They feel you grow and they will play on your heartstrings. Let them go to learn their own lessons. They will hold you down from moving forward. Let them go. It will be okay. God has you and them. Trust that. Everyone must work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Trust in God. Don't carry someone else's battle. That's Philippians 2 and 12. Save yourself and keep going, and then share your wisdom as you keep going. Because if you stay, you're going to be 98 hot or fish grease hot. You know how hot fish grease got to be to not let the fish break apart. Child, ask somebody black. They'll tell you it's got to be hotter than the earth's crust. James 1:19-21 NLT. Don't allow anyone to take your power or your energy. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. We must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Human anger doesn't produce the righteousness God desires. God ain't got nothing wrong with holy, righteous anger. That's different. But that'll cause you to change. So get rid of all the negative thinking and humbly accept the word that God has planted in your heart. I don't know what God planted there, because it has the power to save your souls. Who will save your soul? Just like the Quran's 7 verses 1753 and 4148. Listen as the same. Highlight the importance of speaking kindly, avoiding slander and gossip, and speaking the truth. Just different language. 2:254 emphasizes that it's not for the creation that is under Allah to make decisions that are to say that they know more than Allah. Okay, it requires a believer to surrender to Allah's will, which is the message of faith and surrender to divine authority. We are doing the same thing. We're fighting each other because the system says they are the problem, when really the system is the problem. Quit fighting each other and see the real problem. Colonialism and imperialism. Once you cut off that head, you cut off the rest of the snake. Ain't got nothing. Do we really know who we are? And see, Medusa wasn't bad, but they the real Medusa wasn't bad. She was treated so ill will. If you go read the story about Medusa, you will find out she was not bad. She was assaulted by another god, and then they tried to gaslight her like it wasn't real. And that is the story of every divine feminine that's ever been. Once you do them wrong and then they go ham, now you blame them for being Jean Grey off of X-Men. Okay. You mad because she turned into the Phoenix. Were you the one who did it? Pressure bust pipe, or it transformed. It's time to get into our studies, whatever you in, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Pray, meditate, and find out who you are. Be so secure when things come to steal your joy, you bounce back quicker. You be like, shoot. Where it used to take 6 days, now it's like 60 seconds. 6 seconds. You like, okay, that used to really hurt me, but I see my growth. I'm still saying. I'm saying a lot. You know why? Because it's my birthright. It's my birthright. I am worthy of love. That is my birthright. And my blood bought right. Okay, because if God is living in me, I'm worthy of everything my heart desires. I'm worthy of a life I love. Honey, living the life you love is part of your birthright. So if you don't live your birthright, somebody else is gonna have you working in theirs. Okay, making a dream come true. I'm worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. That means, honey, I have access to infinite wealth on the inside of me. God gave me an infinite well on the inside of me, and I get to reach in and take. But if I'm not using my energy, or you not using your energy, somebody else is going to use your energy. Somebody else is going to use what you have on the inside to build a dream. And you're going to be working hard. Oh, I'm coming to do it. There's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 and then coming home and working your own vision. There's nothing wrong with that. That way, once you build it a certain way, you can say, I don't need this no more. I'm worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. Infinite. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. Hey. I'm worthy of the dream that is in my heart. Both of those with Sia and Corinne Hawthorne, okay? I'm worthy of the dream that's in my heart. As long as I keep going, best believe the dream that God gave me is coming to pass. It will come to pass. I see miracles. I see miracles. Come on, Jacqueline Carr. I see miracles coming in for you. Come on, Jacqueline Carr. Say it. I release timelines that are no longer for me. I tell you, my inner teenager has been doing some stuff today, and I just let it go. Child, honey, I cut every cord, cut, snip, burn it, and I sever the connection. Two can only walk if we agree. We no longer agree, so guess what? We like Abraham and Lot. You go your way, I'm going mine. I see nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you as you go on your way. I'm not angry, I'm not bitter, I'm not hurt, I'm not frustrated, I'm not irritated. I'm constantly working on myself every day. Honey, I don't have time to look at you. I'm too busy working on me and doing my own self-care and caring about my heart. My God. Do you. And quit looking over the fence, Wilson. Quit being busy. The Bible said don't be a busybody. Take care of your own business. It said tend to your own business. I release the timelines that require me to shrink. If I need to shrink to be in your presence, well, keep holding your breath because I ain't coming around. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next move in stillness. Let's talk about it. When you get still and get quiet, God will drop some pearls and some diamonds on you that you like, whoa, wee. I walk forward lighter, clearer, and deeply supported. I am never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, and God. That is a threefold cord that is not easily broken. I'm so secure in knowing if I'm even walking by myself, I'm never truly alone. Man, my ancestors jump out them bushes and do that guerrilla warfare. Child, I don't have no control of them. They in the underworld. I don't have no control of them, honey. They said, no, you keep being good. We gonna do what we do. That's why we here. So I said to you. The angels always bring me in something amazing that causes my heart to light up. I promise you. Today, I just was like, so y'all just love making me happy and crying out here. And I'm just glad nobody showed up where I was at because I was crying. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, and sit still for the next move, or just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. Honey, love has 101 million ways to show itself. Will you rest and allow it to come to you? People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, or any red tape is removed from me. It is said we don't usually do this. They can't even help it. I can't either. But if God, my ancestors, and my intuition say, I'm, excuse me, confirmation bird, my hands is up. I'm done. I have miracles every day, and uncommon blessings find me without me even searching for them. They just fall upon me because I'm aligned. When you start doing the simple things that God is asking you to do, and you follow those nudges and those intuitive marks that God is sending, everything that's following you, and what God said, let go, let go. It's for a reason, child. Protect yourself and let go. I don't consent in any energy control. I am grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself, untouchable and fully sovereign. All cords are removed from me. Cut, cut, snip, snip, burn, and I sever the cord of connection. Ain't no connection. We no longer agree. See you. Don't want to be you. See you later. Not really. I'm worthy of my dreams and everything my heart desires. If it's in here, you can best believe it's coming to pass because God said it's coming to pass. It will come to pass. I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I don't have to fight for what's mine. I don't have to compete with you. I don't have to yell at you. I don't have to put up. If I gotta do all that, you on the outskirts of the town. Ain't nobody got to do that. I'm worthy of seeing all my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness at any moment. I can come up here and see anything from a different perspective, change my life in seconds. You hear me? All things, I saw this somewhere. Don't remember where I seen it. All things come to me in perfect mature timing for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. If you win, I win. Because we together. We're all in this together. High School Musical. If you know, you know. Money comes back to me multiplied on every dollar that was spent. Let's talk about it. Everything that was taken. Double, triple, quadruple, 100-fold on everything that was taken without my knowledge, everything that was taken from my ancestors. I call it to me now. I'm willing to open space for the things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with love for myself. I've been on purpose doing amazing self-care and self-love to myself because I'm important to me. I saw this on Google and I said, okay, Google. I said, I'm going to put some seasoning and some hot sauce. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, I remove all energy that doesn't belong to me from my energy field. Because, see, some of this stuff is in your energy field to get you on the right path. And I send it back to the rightful owner to be cleansed and purified, no matter where we originally met, universe, world, timeline, dimension, and realm. I don't care if we was a speck of space dust. Honey, I sever the cord of connection. The lessons have been learned. I release you to find your own way. Go your way, I'm going mine. I call all my energy fragments back to me like Magneto. I am free, I am free, I am free. Honey, I call all the blessings to me. Everything. Whatever's out there that belongs to my ancestors is mine. I now release all energies, traumas, and patterns that aren't in alignment with my highest good across all timelines and dimensions and realms. I call everything to me. That was my ancestors. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free. I'm free. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Free falling. Tom Petty. Mm-mm. I sit in peace while I trust the process and I don't rush the process. Can you wait when it gets silent? Honey, that means the proctor is in the room. God ain't talking, the ancestors ain't talking, the angels ain't talking, ain't nobody talking. It's like, were you paying attention when we was giving out the wisdom? I'm doing speaking engagements and podcasts that bring transformation. See, when you're taking a test, that lets you know whether you was paying attention. Signature topic: helping visionaries reconnect, reinvent, walk through the rebirth, and rise with confidence. We're all visionaries with our own personal dreams. It just we forgot about them surviving, and we threw it in the back seat. Pull that sucker out of the back seat, put it in the passenger seat, and start doing CPR. Go ahead and put that defibrillator on your dream and bring it back to life. Okay. Teaching individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise, and live boldly on their own terms. Okay. Guiding through mindset shifts, emotional relief, and soul level understanding, helping all of us navigate reinvention, rebirth, setting boundaries. No, you can't come over here. You on the outskirts of the town. You got scurvy and you got leprosy. And rising to their own purpose with confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence is a missing subject to face. Excuse me. Confirmation bird. Hi, my name is Renetta Chesney, owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC. Soul igniter, trauma overcomer, holistic spiritual strategist. I work with the whole being for my level of training and education, mind, spirit, soul, and body. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in healthcare to understand and comprehend mental health and public health because together they are one and the same. You got a public health problem, you got a mental health problem. Massage therapy, Reiki, and sound healing, holistic practitioner. We pull out all the impurities from the rooter to the tutor. Human design practitioner. We go back to the beginning, find out what your purpose is, come back, look at that generational baggage and start pulling out. When I was given this task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then my path would be different. Probably would be a little standoffish until people have done their work. They're gonna look like that I got infantile. No, you do. Okay. No, neither of us do. But I didn't stop. I asked myself uncomfortable questions every day to get out of old patterns. I do the work every day, even and it's not always pretty or nice. It's not nice. But I wake up to confront the areas in me in love that need a facelift. And sometimes that may just mean being in self care, giving myself a facial, doing a foot detox, giving myself a lymphatic massage, doing something for me that's just for me, away from everybody else. No, I don't need to post it because it's for me. If I need to post what I'm doing for myself, then that means I'm looking for validation. Okay, facelift so I can go forward. Okay, what will you do? What are you afraid of losing? Is it once you see that imperialism and colonialism has played everybody, you won't know what to do unless each one of us is fighting or fighting to be seen, or you think you got to fight me to get what you need because you see somebody leveling up and you want to fight them because you think you got to fight because that's the only thing you ever know because you have been placed in a barrel and you have turned into crabs in a barrel and crabs are not supposed to be in a barrel. Crabs are supposed to be in water, in the ocean, freely moving around. When you put crabs in a barrel, of course they're fighting to not let anybody get out. Because if I can't get out, you can't get out. And that is not our original thing. That's what colonialism and imperialism has done. They have put us all in the same boat. And then we're fighting over who had the most trauma. No, I got the most trauma. No, I got the most trauma. So it's like, Black people and Africans, no, I got the most trauma. Then Native Americans and Hawaiians and Alaskans, no, I got the most trauma. Everybody trying to say they got the most trauma. And then you go over and then you got your Asian. No, I got the most trauma. No, I got the most trauma. My light went out, but I'm gonna keep going, okay? No, I got the most trauma. No, I got the most trauma. And just keep going and just keep going. But the truth of the matter is, all of us got the same trauma. And then you got the Caucasian. No, I got the most trauma. Then I think about it. Black people and y'all kind of neck to neck because you was lied to your whole life. And once you realize that you ain't who you think you are, some of y'all might snap for real. And that might be a whole nother situation. You might have a whole nother capital run in, but it ain't gonna be how it was ran before. Okay. Because what you don't do is lie to them and tell them something and they find out the truth. Woo, hush your fuss to get on the bus. That's all I got to say. How about we find ways to have conversations that cause a pause to see life differently in all areas where we can see each other and not hurt each other. This will cause us to quit blaming someone else for our problems and see where we might have missed it. Yeah, we were lied to. But what was the lie that you was holding on to? And now that you know, you still holding on to it. What is that? What are you truly missed? Because see, once you tell people the truth, they will hold on to the lie because that's all they know. And you know, it's okay. Do that. Everyone is doing that. Do that. But there's coming a time when God gonna show you something, and when he's seeing you, be like, dang. We can only meet people where we have met ourselves. Remember that the next time you say you want a real relationship, what if you met yourself? Or you still clinging because you don't know who you are? I ain't judging you because I was there myself. I had to work on me. We have an opportunity. We have many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. It's in the music. It's in everything. It's in the music. Don't believe me? Listen to me. Some of this music we've been listening to, and we wonder why there's such a high level of infidelity in marriages. Go listen to some of this music. If I call out the groups, you gonna know exactly who I'm saying. When I went and listened to their music, I said, I don't know if I can listen to y'all no more, because everything you say is about taking somebody man. Every song. They seek safety and validation on the outside of themselves because of a plethora of challenges that occurred in childhood processes. And I'm like, dang, I really love y'all. Y'all was a whole part of my childhood. Explains a lot. I'm being commissioned to aid in the process of sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from becoming my true identity. I had to believe in myself and God. God is on the inside of me, but I had to find me first. What I like, why don't I like it? Why is this happening? Why does this keep happening? Why does this cycle keep going? And be honest with myself. Why these people keep doing this? I don't want these people around me. What choices am I not making that I get an opportunity to make? Honey, we're taught that God is on the outside of us and that by and by, just hold on. But God is on the inside of us, waiting to be tagged into our battles like, let's go. Ephesians 6 says we're fighting principalities, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. Remember, we are a spirit being first. We have a body and we live in a body and we have a soul. So remember, we're dealing with spiritual beings because we're really a spiritual. Okay. So you want to play me today? It ain't nothing to it. So this is why negative thinking has gone on for so long that it's a norm in society. And in the Bible, it says multitude. This is what every ascended master fought against. The mindsets of us who complain but don't want to do the work or don't know how to, and it causes a dip in the morale. We get the and most can't get out. Why? Because it's ancestral or generational, and the system loves it. Because as long as you keep going in the cycle, they keep winning. So to get out, it requires you to get uncomfortable and to get past the plateau of complacency. And this is what I've always known. It's time to get up out of there and say, I get in there. Yeah, I get in there. That is Vic. Okay. Big girl. Back it up. Okay, the wobble. There are some freebies and a link to my podcast with the Women's Leveling Up recently, a few months ago in May. And then you also see 3 links of magazines I was carried in September, October, and December. Look in the description to find the things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember, I placed a link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. No matter what your background is, you hear me? Because God don't care nothing about your background. God already know who you are, whether you got hair on your head or not. Okay. Don't look at what you see or what you're going through. The growing pains. Relax, trust, and rest in me. That's on page 46. And then I also have two other books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those are shadow activity books. And why do I call them that? Because you get have so much fun. You get a word of knowledge. You get an exercise. You get a shadow question, not so fun because it's out. Then you get a color page. Okay. And then that it is based on between 5 and 10 because that's when most childhood wounding happens. Okay. And then you have 4 pages. It's 22 pages per book. You have 4 pages of sketching, drawing, doodling, whatever you want to do, because it's your book. No matter what your background, because God don't care. God don't need a background check. Remember that. God already know who you are. He said, I see that peach fuzz. Peach fuzz. I forget who sang that song. Influence and Impact. These are my books already on New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. Okay, all of those are on Amazon. You can get your copies. Only my special journals are on my special site. Okay. Notebooks and journals for all. Coloring books for all that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. I'm excited about it. This venture. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property, even though I got a lot of stuff on Amazon. Go check it out. But my special stuff is on my special page. Don't forget to look at the link to 105 spiritual laws that govern the earth. Even though we're no longer underneath the law, we're underneath love and grace, new paradigm. We're back underneath that. We changed everything. We're back where we needed to be. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Don't forget about the Adjective and the 400 Vays PDF to go ahead and change your whole character to this janky promoter game. Okay, I did. Don't forget to look at my link for the school app. I was just getting things started over there. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who for 2025 and Influential Women for 2025. And look what I received in 2017. I was doing so much work with my nonprofit. Honey, I was helping young women. I was helping women and and I was helping teenage girls come out of sex trafficking. Then I was helping young girls that came out and said they were LGBTQAI, or young girls that came out and said they was pregnant to their family kicked them out. I took them and put them in a home, but I made sure they had what they needed before they went in there. And then I helped domestic violence, and I didn't take pictures of these people because that's a no-go for me. There are some things that are just sacred, and to me that was sacred, plus it would put me in danger because I don't know who was looking for them. And they say they ready to go right now from the hospital. And so when they said they was ready to go right now, that's what we did. Okay. I was working closely with the police. And if they said they didn't want to go, you didn't get Nathaniel from me. Okay. Because you ain't finna put my life and my family in danger. Then there was families who lost everything in fires and floods, and I had a storage unit, and people knew it, so they was giving me beds and TVs and mattresses and clothes and shoes, and then I was giving toiletries of toothpaste and all the little toiletries that you need for your life. Okay, simple stuff like deodorant, dollar deodorant, but that's big when you don't have it. And the women was getting fingernail polish and fingernail remover. It's big when you don't have it and you don't lost everything. That's the simple stuff we forget about. You still want to be beautiful. You still want to give yourself self-care. You still want to do all of that. As you're trying to figure out what's next, because everything is in the air. And then I was helping families for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I was helping one family for Thanksgiving and found out that everybody got laid off from a job. And I found out the names and I put them in a bowl. And for Christmas, I pulled out 2 names, 2 families. I bought 2 gifts for the children that was in the household, found out the children's names and the gifts. And then I bought food. I catered food for the family, took it to the families. And then I gave $150 for groceries. No, I bought them $150 worth of groceries and took it to each family because that's the least I could do for my community. Because I remember times when I was homeless and I wish that would have happened and there was nobody there to help me. I had to pull myself out of my own ditch. And I said, well, let me help somebody else since I didn't receive the help. Okay. And then, ooh, I'm just so glad that God said, whatever you do in the quiet times, away from anybody, He said, whatever you do in private, I'm going to reward you publicly. And you don't need fanfare. I just took the pictures and put it on my website and on my Facebook page. That's it. On my personal Facebook page for my Refuge Women's Transition Center. God is faithful, and I'm thankful for everything. Do you hear me? God said He gonna take care of me. And I said, okay. Even when it seems like it's taking a minute, God said, just hold on, I got you. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with All Natural Remedies for the assistance of the diagnosis I received in 2017. It said I had breast cancer. I ain't take no chemo. I ain't take none of that mess they said. I said, no, I'm going to live and not die. They said, what? I said I'm gonna live and not die. I ain't going nowhere. I took 100% Silver Shield. I got me a naturopathic doctor that had a whole nother way to go. And I pulled out everything that Dr. Sebi ever did, said up, bed up about being alkaline, because I was listening to Lisa Left Eye Lopez. We miss you, honey. Rest in peace, my love. Rest in the presence of the Father. And listening to what she said, and I said, wait a minute. So I pulled out everything, got every book he ever had. Child, I was like, we need to stay here because we got a family. Child, honey, little did I know, after I found out and I beat the cancer, beat everything, beat the disease, then I found out my daughter was pregnant. Honey, to think she could have went through this by herself. Child, anyway, that's a whole nother story in there. And then I went home and got with, and my naturopathic doctor said, I understand that this is alkaline, but in your body, per your blood type, you can have this, this, and this, and this. Let that go. I said, say less. So I let it go and just took that list with me to the grocery store whenever I went onto the farmer's market. Then I went to the backyard because my ancestor said, get that dandelion, get that morning glory. And again, morning glory can be dried out and smoked if you can't afford the weed and you need something else. You can smoke the morning glory, okay? Because God made it. All right. And then you have that crabgrass. I call it crabgrass. Look at the post I put up on my page. It's that long grass like that, and it grows up real long. Really, what it is wild onions, and it look like scallions. And then you dig it up out of the ground. It's like it's wild scallions, and you cut it up. It tastes good in your food. Okay, you see the picture that I put there, and I put description so you know what it is. And then poke salad. Poke salad look like lettuce and cilantro had a baby together. It's serrated around the edges. Honey, it tastes like a nutty flavor, and at the same time, it's got like a minty flavor like cilantro has. You know how that flavor like the cilantro has, but it's also got a nutty flavor, so it's different. If you want something to add to your salad and it's a little nutty, and try it out. Try it out by itself first and see how you like it. It's in your backyard. Honey, I am so grateful to be here. Child, every day I look in the mirror and I say, God, I'm so grateful to be here. I wake up and I touch my heart and I say, God, I'm awake. I'm so thankful to be here. Thank you for leading and guiding me today. I thank you. I am awake. Because the minute that you wake up, that's the time that you get to have time with God. Child, I thank you, God, that I'm still here. I didn't know I was going to go this long, but praise God anyway. Father God, I thank you, because this was for somebody. Father God, I thank you for the word that you placed in my heart. I thank you for the love that you give me. I thank you for the hugs you give me. I thank you for everything that you do for me, because you could have left me over to like Romans 1 and reprobate mind and figuring it out on my own, but you said, that's my daughter. Bring her on over here. Father God, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that you love me. Oh, He loves us. Oh, how He loves us. Oh, how He loves us. Oh, how He loves. Thank you, Father. I thank you, Father, that they told us that we are, we are. What's that thing called? We the lowest one. We are not. And it said we the minority.
Yeah.
Excuse me, confirmation bird. We are not.
Yeah.
Confirmation bird. All right. God said who we are. We are the children of Israel. We are the true Jews. That's who we are. That's why you don't want to let us go. Because if you let us go, you know the U.S. is going to be cursed to the root. Okay, from the rooter to the tutor. You already know this. That's why you holding on to us tight. You won't let us go. But Pharaoh, God has already said, let my people go. And you playing games. And you know what happened to Pharaoh. And you know what happened to Nebuchadnezzar too. Keep playing keep playing dumb games and get dumb answers. But God is hardening your heart for a reason. So your ancestors did some stuff. You like the Kings and First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles and Judges. Saying we were disenfranchised. God said, I know I called you who I called you to be, and that's who you are. You are not disenfranchised. You are not the bottom of the barrel. That is not who you are. And then they said, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They came and took our boots and our shoestrings. So we went over there to the bamboo, took the bamboo, put the bamboo on, and got some vines and made our own shoes. They said, "Oh, wait a minute, we took everything." Well, you didn't take what God gave to me. God gave me this, and I'm using this right here. And we kept going, but we don't die. We multiply. We figure out a way. We come from a long line of ancestors that find a way. They lived off the land, and they give us wisdom. It just come, and we show up and show out. And then, I just want to thank you for being here, because you could have been anywhere, but you decided to be here. And I see nothing but cleansing and purifying energy as you find your way on your path. May you tap into God. Tap in. May you tap into God and get to know him so close that you and God become best friends. Don't forget to share this out and subscribe. I love you in the love of the Lord. Have a great evening. Good night.